I am present.
Thank you for your presence. With whom are we speaking, please?
Wendy's higher self.
Thank you. Do you have an opening message for Wendy, please? What does she need to note this evening?
Turn away. It is to turn away from. It is to look upon what has and turn away from. It is this aspect of self that is present in the physical sense. It is this aspect of the energetic that is fully present. But there is much to look away from. Why do we look away from? Why do we need to look away from? Why do we need to turn away from? It is this aspect of growth. It is this process of moving forward. If we remain looking to the past, looking to those things, the things that distract us, the things that fill our existence, it hinders this process forward. But if one can turn away, if one can look away from, it is not to say to exit from, but to look away from. It is to have an awareness of an understanding that is there, but it is to look away from, not to be distracted from. But yet, chart a new course. Look beyond what is in front of you. For it is what is in front of you that this is distracting you. There is much that is taking place. There is much that is unfolding. But it is this aspect of self. It is this aspect of the physical essence that cannot look away. It is this portion that is being drawn into this aspect. But why? Where does this come from? The simple answer of it is you are in this physical being. You've chosen this existence. This is your existence. This is what you have scripted. The challenges, the excitements, the bits and pieces of this existence. But it is just that existence that you must turn away from. For it is the greater expanse of understanding one's self, one's energetic self. You have an awareness of this, you have an understanding of this, you've incorporated this, but there's something interesting that still captivates you. It is this aspect. It is not to give it up. It is not to shun it. It is not to turn it off. But it is to look away and give full focus of what lies in front of you. This aspect of your continuing journey, this path that you have carved for yourself. It is the time now to understand exactly what is in front of you. It is not what the physical essence puts in place, but it is what the energetic knowing, the divine connection that threads all of it together. It is looking beyond where you can see now. It is this aspect. It is this true essence that lies ahead of you. There is this in-between space in which you inhabit at the moment. It is this space in which you are seeking. What more can there be? What else could I do? Where should I shift my focus? All the questions are answered merely by just being. That is yet a simple answer to all of it, but just being opens the doorway, opens all the windows, opens the expanse of your understanding, your presence upon this planet. It is just being. It is being you. It is being present. It is being the I am. For when you are centered there, all is revealed. It is not as easy as opening a book, but it is all revealed as you have scripted it. There is no more need to question why or when or how, as it will all be laid at your feet. It'll be all presented to you, just as you have presented it to yourself, just as you have scripted each of the actions. It is knowing. It is knowing that you have orchestrated all of this. And now you can sit and enjoy the show.
That's beautiful. Thank you. And before we dive into some more of that, what is it that she needs to look away from? Is it her history in the physical, or is it the 3D drama? What do you see as her distraction?
All that is present in this space. The physical presence is wishing, wanting, yearning for change. It is all what is present in this space. It is all what is present now. There is the past experiences, there is the past lives, there is the understandings of all that. And all of that does come into play, but that is not what this is. For yes, there is the turmoil and there is the uneasiness of your previous existences wrapped up into what is now this period of time. But what you must understand, what this is, this space in which you wish to continue observing, wanting, yearning for change. That is not where the change will come from. The change comes from within. The change for all humanity comes from within. But one must look away from all of the distractions, no matter how trivial or how intense. One must look away. Because if you don't, the internal change does not begin. For when the internal change begins, none of the distractions will matter. None of the pain, none of the wanting and yearning for change, none of it will matter. For this is just a distraction to slow your progress, to slow your pace. The longer you hang on here, the longer it will be until you have an understanding of where you are truly centered. For when this begins to change from within, and you understand the true understanding of all of it, that is when you are effective to others. It is not to say that you are not effective now. You are, but you have to understand how it is all influenced by the distractions that are all around you. Or if you shift that focus away, yes, it is still there. But you shift your focus away. You then become the pure essence, void of distraction. You have an awareness, but void of distraction. It is this distraction that is the underpinning of conversation, of work, of dialogue, of understanding. But once that is alleviated, then all of that is pure divine.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. And so as humans, it can be difficult to just be. And so Wendy is curious about how to improve her connection to that piece of her, that divine essence, that higher self, and her guides, as well as using that connection to assist others through her Reiki practice. So can you give her some tips, some guidance on how to be still and connect and strengthen that connection, please?
For the practice, for the healing that you provide, one must look inward to the master that has brought that to you. For all great masters, for all great seekers, they disconnect from what is in front of them. They disconnect from the worldly events around them, fully disconnecting in order to seek a higher understanding. It is not to say to go up to the top of a mountain. It is not to say to go into a valley for an extended period of time. You are your own mountaintop. You are your own valley. Create the inner sanctum, create the inner peace, create the disconnect from all what is around you. It is said, do not enter into the space of unknown, but enter into the space of your awareness. It is said to enter into a place of quiet and not silence. Silence upon itself is distracting. Quiet is a place in which you then can hear and listen for all that is being provided to you. The quiet that you seek is merely a question away. I wish to enter into the quiet space so I may hear, so I may be guided, so I may have the understandings that I am providing to myself. For all that will be given to you, you must enter into this inner space. You must disconnect from the world that is around you, the world that is distracting you. It is this space, it is this realm. But once you enter into this space, how do you hear? What do you listen for? Where will the voices come from? Where will the answers be? They are already there. They're already speaking to you. They are already giving you the information. It is being filtered by all what surrounds you. It is tuning into the frequency a bit stronger. It will be frustrating to sit in quiet, just as it was frustrating for all the masters that went upon the mountain, for all those that went into the valley seeking answers. It was frustrating to begin with. Why am I being led? Why am I being called? I do not hear a thing. But within the frustration, there is a knowing. Within the frustration, one's self exposes itself to the universe. It is okay to be frustrated. It is okay to be mad. It is okay to be angry with the situation. Alleviate that from yourself. Expel that out through words. Call upon the universe to give you the answers. But prepare yourself for what you will receive. And align yourself to receive. You are the greatest receiver of all. All beings are the greatest receivers of all the information that is around them, but yet they turn the channel away. Your channel is tuned. It just needs to be refined to bring in the broadcast a bit clearer. But enter into this space, this intersanctum. This is the place of quiet. This is your mountaintop. This is your valley.
Thank you for that. And I know that you mentioned that once she begins to sit in quiet, these answers are going to come to her, but we still have some questions tonight, if we may proceed. You mentioned that she needs to focus on this path that she has carved for herself. Can you shed some light on that path in terms of her purpose and or her mission in this incarnation, please?
What you must understand is this. For the energy that flows through you, not from you, but through you, is your divine purpose. You have provided yourself this platform, this stage in which to work. Do not remain within the confines of your own mind. For what you have been gifted, for what you have been experiencing, as you begin to become aware of your path and all that lies in front of you. There are no bounds by which you will begin to operate. Understand this. It is not just the energy that flows through you into others. It is the voice by which you communicate. It is this voice that will provide additional healing. The voice itself and its vibration will find its unique signature upon all of the frequencies. So allow yourself to be expressive as you carry forward. It will begin to change. It will begin to emanate from you. Do not be afraid of it. Do not question it. For what you will begin to understand as you fully disengage from the world around you and fully focus on that inner self. Much will begin to change. The voice will begin to change. The vision that you see in front of you will begin to change. The individuals that you encounter will understand this. They are already lined up. They are waiting for the door to open. They are just on the other side of this door. You are approaching this door. And once you begin to open the door, many will surround you. You'll begin to teach others in a way that only they can understand their placement upon this planet. And it is through this voice, and it is through the energies that flow through you.
Thank you for that. That sounds fantastic. And so Wendy also feels an affinity for crystals. How will she be using those crystals in her healing work? Or is there another purpose to this attraction she has for the crystals?
Crystal alignment through the self is essential. There is a manner in which you will designate. It is not to say designate a crystal, but it is the frequency by which that crystal emanates through you. You become the voice for the crystal. And as you begin to understand each of its frequencies, each of the different frequencies of each of the crystals in which you have placed upon you. Each will provide you its own specific message for the individual and how it will begin to process through them. For what you must understand, many call upon this as part of the healing process. It is not necessarily to say that it is healing, but those individuals, as they begin to align, it is a complete frequency shift within. If it is their perception of the healing that is taking place, then that is their perception. Be careful with the word healing. Aligning, shifting. That is what all are doing. It is an aligning and an attuning and a frequency shifting that is taking place. For healing takes place in the physical mind. It is what is associated with what is taking place physically within the body. You are merely providing the frequencies, the foundational layers of change. So allow this to be the understanding and a greater understanding of what is taking place. The crystals will play a large role in any of this as they begin to speak through you in whatever means they wish to communicate to
you. Thank you. That was an excellent explanation of how that works and the difference between aligning and healing. Thank you for that. Is there anything specific Wendy needs to know about ascension, this process of ascension and or the event and how it relates to her?
To address ascension, one must understand that all beings are in a process, a continual process of ascending. For those that have become aware and are becoming aware, this process is a bit quicker. Is it to say that you will ascend and turn into a full crystalline light body or into another being while present here on this planet? That is for some to choose and some others not. But what you must understand is this: the physical body can only take you so far. No matter how far you wish to ascend, the physical body has its limits. And at some point, you will have to leave the physical body behind. Whether you want to call that a transition or an ascension, that is your choosing of words. But at any point at which the energetic being does exit from the physical being, it has ascended into a greater peace. That is not to say that as you grow from within, the frequencies that you contain within the physical body will emanate in a way that you are at a much higher frequency state. And at the point of transition, there will be very little distinction between the ascension point and the transition point, because your frequency range will be that much higher and clearer of an understanding. for what you will be doing as part of this ascension process is just what we have just given you answers of. As you begin to process and as you begin to grow and as you begin to understand your process of providing this change, the others are waiting just the other side of the door as they begin to come through and begin to fill your space around you. It is your mere presence and your energetic state that will begin their ascension process, their vibrational rising process. As far as the event is concerned, all beings of this planet will be affected one way or another. There is, yes, as you wish to call it, an event. There is a process by which a great amount of energy will transit through this planet, being emanated out, and there will be great change upon this planet. Some say that it will be as if the planet splits into two. A new Earth. But this is the perspective to have. Whether there is an event or whether there is just an energetic influx that creates more havoc upon this planet, as you begin to bring your vibration up, as you begin this ascension process, your Earth is going to change in front of you. It will become the Earth that you wish it to be. For you must understand this. Yes, the planet that you are on is your Earth. You have no control over what is taking place around the planet, but you have control of what takes place around you. That is your Earth. That is your new Earth. How you see what takes place around you and how you then react to it from a much higher vibrational point. That is your new Earth. That is all individuals' new Earth. That is how an effective change takes place around the planet to become a new Earth. There will be additional chaos. But the more you're prepared to understand your new Earth already exists, will ease others' anguish, others' anxiety, others' frustration. For if you already live upon your new Earth, others will want to join you, and you will gladly bring them along, teaching and instructing for their greater awareness, their ascension point.
Another beautiful answer. Thank you. And so if each of us is creating our own new Earth around ourselves, what is the point then of this energetic wash? Why is that coming to us, and how will things change? What is the purpose, please?
One must understand this is not a rare event. This takes place over and over again. The purpose of it is for change. As many will begin to see this event taking place, It will not be unknown. It'll be known that this is about to take place. It will not happen in a flash, as some say that it will, because it will be known. But when it does happen, those that are, might I say, prepared will have a greater understanding. For those that wish to choose to ignore, wish to choose to not believe, there may be another choice for them. They may transit. They may seek shelter. But it will be a uniting around this planet. That is the ultimate purpose of any event that washes over an inhabited planet. It is thought to be a cleansing. As you say, washing over. It is just that. It is a cleansing. Those that are prepared will be prepared and understand what is taking place. And this is where the uniting will take place. You have already built your new earth. You have already built it around you. And you will be prepared. For those that have not, many will transit. But others will seek shelter from you. And there'll be this knowing. There'll be this understanding that it is not just the humanity that is upon this planet, but it is the energetic core of all beings that are upon this planet. It is the energetic source by which we have all come from upon this planet. That is the purpose.
Thank you for that. And so you're saying there will be a forewarning. Who will be giving us this forewarning? Our scientists, our government, our spiritual leaders?
Yes, all will be made aware of it. Many of you have already begun to sense this. Many of you have already experienced the small signs. But yes, all will be made aware. Many in the academic will question it. They will not have an understanding of what it is or what can be done. Many in, as you say, the spiritual realm will begin to advise because they have had the messages, just as the messages are being provided through you tonight. They will be provided out for the greater good. And many will understand that this is not something that has just come upon us. This has been known for some time. And you will understand what is needed to provide yourself the understanding. Provide yourself the shelter, as it were, of an understanding.
Thank you. And when will this take place, please? And how much warning will we have?
To provide a specific date, it is not necessary to understand that it will be in your lifetime. That is the greater understanding. To provide you a specific date will cause undue anxiety, undue stress upon your existence. But to say that it will be in your lifetime gives you a greater sense that it is now to prepare, now to understand, to set your new earth upon it. By how much warning, how much time will be needed, we have an understanding of this. Some will choose not to know. They will wish to have it happen as quickly as it will move through. Others, it will be enough time for them to make decisions, but those decisions will be incorrect.
When they say they choose not to know, that's on a soul level?
This is correct.
Thank you for that. That was fantastic. I appreciate all of that information. Wendy has a sense that she is a walk-in, or she's been told that her soul is a walk-in. Can you speak to that, please?
It is quite interesting, the term that you applied to this walk-in. For what you must understand is this. And it is something that will happen more rapidly as you say, the event draws near. For when a being has its energetic core, it's been incarnated into a physical being. This being has then scripted up to a particular point. This energetic core, this energetic being. There are a number. You have to understand the difficulty in explaining what this process is. There is a point at which multiple aspects take place. This particular being and its script was present. But at a particular point, a change is necessary. It is to say as you would call it, the soul, the energetic essence is called. The physical being itself, the physical presence, has not run its course. There is a particular period of time that each physical being is contracted to remain in place. But the energetic being itself, the core, the soul, was called to change. This in itself is a difficult process. It is not to say that they were in the wrong physical body. There was a better alignment, shall we say. The physical being and the energetic being were not overly aligned. You can look upon it as a temporary home. And at a particular point, the physical being that was aligned was becoming present. That energetic being entered into that, and at that particular point, this energetic being now, the one that is present now, took over. This is a process that takes place quite frequently. Though the beings themselves do not quite understand it, they don't have a point of integration. This is a process in which happens quite rapidly. But once the new essence, the one that is present now, is in place, it is as if it has been in place the entire time. Just as the other essence, the other soul, has been placed into another being, it has as if it has been there its entire time. This will begin to speed up. Point being, many others will begin to do this type of process, preparing for what is to come.
Wowza. Okay, so the new soul that comes in, is that part of the same oversoul group? Are those souls related in any way, those two souls, the outgoing and the incoming?
In some cases, yes, and in some cases, no. It is an entirely new soul family, soul group that enters in. In this case, it is of the same soul family. It is of the same soul group. It is of the same energetic thread, cleaved off, in essence, to be two of the same souls, but yet different.
And so this did happen to Wendy.
This is correct.
And when did this happen?
As in your timeline, your time frame, this would have been in the early stages of adult as you see it in your time frame. There was a point at which there was an integration slot. The physical being itself had a moment of understanding, or I should say, a misunderstanding of why and where and how. There was a bit of confusion, but that was very quickly dispersed.
Fascinating. Okay, so are you saying always that the outgoing soul inhabits another body, or does it sometimes go back to source?
Yes, it always has some place to go. It is not left by itself. It is to say that when the outgoing soul, some may go back to source, stay just a moment, and then enter immediately into another body. It is this aligning. You must understand that the physical presence itself, there is an alignment process that has to take place. Even though contractually you have agreed upon a physical body, the unknowns, though, are the alignment process. It is as if you, in your words, would try on the wrong pair of shoes. It just does not fit. This is the same process. The soul comes in. It is just not a good fit. So there is contingency to understand that at some point, At an appropriate time, one can leave and another one can come in. It is like an exchanging of energies.
Interesting. And so perhaps it just doesn't fit because the physical body can't do what the soul needs to be able to do. Is that an example, or?
Not exactly. It is. It is to say, as the soul enters into the physical body, as it begins the incarnation process and it becomes a physical being, it is not what it is meant to do. It is just that the energetics, you have to understand there are two energetic systems. There is the physical energetic system of the physical body that exists, and then you have the soul energetic body. Frequency-wise, there has to be an alignment. If there is not a true alignment, then there will be complications throughout the existence of that physical being. This is not to say that all misaligned energetic and physical bodies or beings do this, as you say, walk-in process or this exchange process. Some choose to remain. There is a decision point that is given. Do you wish to exchange? Do you wish to change? If one says they wish to stay, then they choose the existence for the existent period of time for the physical body and all that may come with it. There may be a feeling of displacement. There may be a feeling of not understanding. There may be physical ailments that are entangled within this misalignment. But at some point, if the decision point is made, there will be this exchange. And a suitable alignment, physical body incarnate, will be provided.
Thank you. And so is it just those two souls that have to agree, or is there some other council or higher level of beings that influences that decision?
From the soul or the oversoul or the soul group, the decision then is laid upon the incarnate soul, the incarnate energy body, energetic body. From source, it is just a matter of the decision is then laid upon the energetic body. From that point, if they choose to make that decision, then it is that soul, that alignment. As far as the other soul, yes, they have to make the decision that it will leave and another will come in immediately. It is not as if one leaves for a moment of time. This moment of time then will leave the body itself as if it has transitioned. So it is a seamless departure and entry all at the same time. For the energetic body itself, you may envision it as this grand body of energy. It is a mere spark, a mere tiny spark. But once it enters into the body, it becomes this glorious, energetic being.
Wow, fascinating. And so in Wendy's case, what was the purpose of that? What was the reason this walk-in occurred?
So just as it has been explained that this will begin a process moving into your future, and more of this will begin to take place, it is setting the stage for the preparation of bringing others to this ascension point. For the misalignment that was in place, the energetic being that was previously in place, this soul that was in place, the misalignment would not allow for that process to take place. You must understand the physical body itself, as part of the scripting process, the physical body has specific things that it will be doing. specific things that will be laid out upon its path in order for it to execute and do throughout a lifetime. If there is this misalignment, then these executables will not take place over a period of a lifetime. So this is the misalignment process. So a suitable energetic body must be placed into it for it then to execute all of the processes that are needed during that lifetime.
Okay, and so you said there are, this is going to be happening more frequently. Is that because it's an urgent time for humanity and we need to move beings along on their ascension process?
Yeah, this is correct in a particular fashion. As you have asked the question about the event, you must understand, yes, it is part of this, this changeover process, this uniting of your planet. There will be many that will not be aligning with their what is supposed to be on their path. You have to understand the beings that are coming into this planet, that are incarnating into this planet now upon this time, have many more gifts, as you call them, many more executables that they must do over a particular period of time. And so that is why it is critical to have a union between the appropriate soul, the appropriate energy, and the physical being.
Okay. I heard that there was a week in September where there was a huge number of walk-ins expected. Was that accurate? Or has it been just steady throughout?
From this perspective, it has been steady. If that is the information that you are receiving, then it could be perceived as it was an influx. But what you must understand, it will continue to grow. There is going to be a number of individuals that will be in their physical being that will be overly confused, that will be stating, this is not the body I'm supposed to be in. This is not the place I'm supposed to be. This is not where I'm to be. This could be one of two. It is the new entry in, or it is the old soul wishing to leave, waiting upon the decision to switch over. And so you must have an understanding and to be able to determine. To be able to determine this state of being, one must understand that it doesn't matter whether it is an outgoing or an incoming. They are equally confused. It is then to stand with them, provide the appropriate amount of energy to them. You'll begin to sense either an uneasiness or a welcoming. That is where you will begin to determine whether it is an incoming or an outgoing.
You're talking about if we have a client that's in that situation.
This is correct.
Okay. And is it even necessary for us to know that?
It is not. But if you happen to incur an individual that is overly confused, just allow your energy to wash around them. One will accept, one will not. This is where you will understand whether it is incoming or outgoing.
Fascinating. Thank you. Last question on walk-ins. Then I understand, though, that negative entities or negative souls that are service to self also can walk into service to self beings, not just service to others into service to others. Is that happening correct at the same time now?
This is. You have to understand the planet that you inhabit, the existence that you inhabit. This is one that's been predetermined, pre-agreed upon. If you have one, you must have the other. For you are not at an equal balanced state yet. This is part of your growth process. But even as you say, a service to self alignment, this is not to say that their energy will not begin to shift. For what you must understand, the greatest of those that wish to come into the physical body to serve themselves and only themselves, the frequency, the overall frequency that will begin to wash around your planet of uniting each other, unity, love, the greatest of all energies, will begin to shift even the strongest at will. So remain purposeful in what you do. Remain calm in what you do. Remain fully centered in what you do. For it is that light of yours, your energy, what you emanate, that will change all around you.
Awesome. And so related to that, though, we can't have, or can we, service to others, positively polarized souls coming into a negatively polarized body, or can we?
You can, just as you can have a service to self or a service to others into the opposite of the physical being. But it is this, again, where a misalignment may take place, where a greater understanding takes place. Example, service to self enters into service to others' physical being. Though they have a particular purpose, that soul has a particular purpose, and it has a particular existence of what it is to do. The physical being itself may overpower that soul and begin to change that soul. For the energetic being and what it has to do has to marry with what is there. But if this marriage, if this alignment does not take place, this is where the exchange can take place.
Wow. That was an awesome conversation. Thank you so much. So Wendy is curious if she has any attachments that can be released that might be causing any pain or dis-ease in her body. I think first we might want to try to identify any of those pains or dis-eases in her body, and are they being influenced by any sort of attachment that we need to work on this evening, please?
There is an energetic attachment, yes. This is a carryover from a previous existence. It is not one that you have brought in through your energetic presence. This is a carryover from the physical presence, and that came into this being, this physical being. It is as if it is trying to pull to the past, trying to continually pull to the past and not allowing the process to move forward. Is this pull to the past, this pull of existence. As we get closer to the past, as we feel that presence moving towards the past, there's a bit of pressure upon the chest. There's a bit of discomfort in the sacral. For your awareness and for your understanding this previous existence, it was one that was being prosecuted and tortured for their belief. And it is this pull, it is this pressure, it is this that is present. It is through the voice in which was present that is what they stood upon. It is this that they were being prosecuted for. In your physical essence now, sit with this understanding. This is an existence of your remnant past, your physical being's remnant past. It is asked to now take in a large breath, the biggest breath that you have been able to do, and hold it for a moment. And as you do, visualize yourself stepping across a bridge fully into yourself, fully into your existence here, now, this place, this time, this world, this existence. Stepping now into the presence of who you are. Releasing that now. And as you release this, the bridge then now begins to recede back into the past. That bridge no longer exists. Take in another breath and hold it for just a moment. And as you do, look back to the past and visualize that bridge completely gone now. And all you see is a remnant of this past, where it will remain, where it shall exist. Now release. as you do this, understand that your voice that you have now is your voice. It is not the remnant past. It is not of your physical existence. It is of your energetic existence. That is the voice in which you will stand upon. As that bridge has collapsed back to the past, the sacral has opened up, freeing itself, illuminating itself. Have an understanding that the alignment and the agreement that you have made with this physical existence and all of what is in place are remnants. All have been released back upon that bridge. These are the major centers that were affected. But understand that one center can affect an entire body. So by releasing, breathing, envisioning, all shall be released.
That's beautiful. Thank you very much. Wendy, nod if we can keep going. How's Will's body doing?
It is fine.
Good. We have a few more questions, if I may. Wendy is sending people colored light. She wants to know if this is beneficial, and what would you like to say about that, please?
But you must understand, it is interesting that you ask if it is beneficial. The easiest of the answers is yes, of course it is. But what you must understand is why and where this is coming from. It is your understanding, your crystalline understanding. We bring in the crystals again. It is not just that you are projecting light. It is not that you are sending light. Light is but a frequency. Light is but an energetic representation of what is present. It is this crystalline light that you send. All shapes, all colors. It is this spectrum that is then received. It is then ingested into the recipient for their change of DNA, their upgrade of understanding. Think of it as you sending them the crystal by which it is upon your hand. You are sending the energetic representation of the frequency. Just as the words are spoken to you, it is all the frequency that is ingested. So continue to send this light in any fashion you wish. There should be never any question by what you are doing, because it is what you shall do. And the more you align and the more you find the inner sanctum, the more will be sent.
Amazing. Thank you. So she has a question about a couple of dreams. In the first one, she was anchoring in the light in Gaia's new and improved grid. and her body was a part of that. And in the second dream, she was processing black packets of goo that were flying through the air, and her guide in that dream told her to get to work. So what would you like to say about those? Are those dreams related? Are they her quote unquote side jobs while she sleeps?
For one to think that you only have an existence here upon this planet is quite interesting. For when the body does rest, your work continues, and you understand this. For the crystalline grid by which you are integrated into, again, crystalline objects, crystalline energy, crystalline light, you are fully integrated into the crystalline grid upon this planet. You are its voice, though you have yet to speak for it. You are directly connected. You are part of the crystalline grid. You are this grid, and you will begin to speak its wisdom. As far as this, as you call it, black goo, black substance, you and many others are witnessing the same. Whether it is floating through the air, emanating from a physical body, or anywhere else upon this planet. What you are exhibiting is the overall collective anxiety, the collective stress, the collective anger that is infusing many upon this planet. And each of you have a role in clearing this, clearing it out of the planet, clearing it out of the energetic field. This is why it is important to understand your role in the crystalline grid. It is also important to understand the voice that you have. For you are clearing this. You are clearing it in the dream state, but you will begin to clear this in the awakened state, as many are. It is just the representation. And don't be frightened if it is overwhelming, as it does come in waves. Many sense a dark, looming cloud. That is the collective angst of this planet that you are on. That you must understand your piercing light will go directly through it and open it up and begin to absorb all of it and emanate it out into the universe. Drawing upon your Mother Earth, your Gaia, to infuse you with the power to allow you to disperse all of that. That is what you are doing.
Awesome. Thank you so very much. Are there any other guides that have a message for Wendy this evening before we close? Is there anybody who wishes to step forward with a message?
One has stepped forward and wishes to convey this message, this guide, this being. This is a elder medicine woman. She has been with you for quite some time, and she wishes to convey that in order to do the work that you do, to honor all of what you do, one must honor themselves. One must honor the earth that they step upon. Integrate with all that is provided for you. Understand and learn what is provided to you. Everything from the water to the sand to the rocks to the plants that you sit with. They all will have a purpose in all that you do. Understand that she sits just off your left shoulder, remaining there always, to call upon her to instruct you and teach you the ways of the old teachings, the earthly teachings, the medicine teachings.
Thank you very much for your presence. We appreciate that message. Were there any other guides who wish to speak?
Not at this point.
Thank you so very much. I do have one question about the attachment, that thread to the past life. You said that it was attached to the physical energetic, but did it come in with the new soul, or it was attached strictly to the physical energetic?
Strictly to the physical. When the new energetic being came in, the new soul came in, they integrate. There is a marriage of sorts, because it is this uniting of energies of physical and energetic. And in so, this is then carried over and brought into the physical and energetic marriage and remained there. And there is an awareness. Once the awareness is there, and then it is a point at which to clear or remove or cut that existence.
Which we did, and thank you for that. So this is not a coincidence that Will and I and Wendy came together this evening. What was the purpose for that, please?
You have been given much awareness. You have been given much awareness of things to come, preparedness to take. So have this understanding that the information that is provided is, yes, directly for oneself, but there is a universal understanding for many others to have.
I agree. Thank you very much. Have Will and Wendy and I worked together or been together in past or future lives?
William and Wendy have been brother, sister. Allison and Wendy have been acquaintances in previous lives. The three have not interacted as a triad until this point.
And so then I guess we orchestrated this meetup again.
This is correct.
Fantastic. Thank you. Is there anything else Wendy needs to know before we close, please?
Have the understanding that much has been provided, much that is overwhelming, much that is to be contemplated. But simply put, it is your choice. This is your choice at this point, this period now. And to remain connected and have an understanding of what's going on and the distractions. Or is it to go deeply within, going to your mountain, your valley, in quiet, and listening, and understanding what is yet to come? It is your choice. This is what you've laid out in front of you. You are now here.
Thank you for that. And thank you so very much for being with us this evening.
Thank you.